All right, I think we're live. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for joining me today, and I'm excited to be here with everyone. We'll just give it a minute here to let people join this event, um, and we'll get started. So, anyways, thanks for being with us. On this platform that I use, I actually can't see people coming in because we're broadcasting this on YouTube, Instagram Live, and Facebook Live. So, anyways, it'd be fun to see like where everybody's coming in from. But we really appreciate all of you, and we do this for you guys. So this is something that really passionate about. So yeah, let's get started here. So I guess first of all, I know it's been a little over a month. I've been trying to do these on a monthly basis, and as a company, there's just certain things that in the banking world that are a little frustrating. They just are. They're really important because you have to do things exactly right to meet regulations, but they can take you off of the path that you really wanted to be going. And that's exactly what's happened with the budgeting screen. I'll get into that in a little bit, but we're back. Like, part of the reason I'm coming on now is because we're back on track. I feel like that now we've got those things taken care of, and so we've met the requirements from a bank standpoint so that we can move forward on what we love, and that is creating an experience that's really smooth and exciting for you guys, for all of us, because this is something that I use. So let me share my slides. I have some slides to share. Actually, all right. So this is what I want to show. Okay, so first of all, I just want to we hit 4.5 star rating on the App Store recently. So literally in the last year, we've gone from a 3.8 to a 4.5. So anyway, super exciting. And it really helps me understand that we've really hit a level of strong stability and a lot of value, which again, I'm really excited about this. And thank you for all of you who have gone in and rated the App Store and the Google Play Store. We really appreciate that. And it's like, again, there's times when tears come to my eyes because as I read people's stories, it's just it's exciting to see the impact. Okay, now if you're not part of the cubicle, I encourage you to join the cubicle. This is our Facebook group where it's the place for power users with Qube money, and a lot of really good feedback. It's a venue where there's a lot of positive, okay, and so that's really valuable. There's some things that have changed since we met last week as a result of a survey that I put out saying, hey, what do you want most? So you can see remote check deposit went from waiting for bank all the way up to we're moving forward on that. We've got approval from the bank. We've got approval from our processor. So really exciting progress there. Now we are going to focus and finish the budget screen first. Okay. And so I guess the reason why we are slow on the budget screen, we were planning on releasing that by the 1st of September. And obviously we're already 30 days behind and we're not into alpha. And that is because there's been some new requirements, bank regulations requirements that have required us to divert our development team to make sure we meet those things, which is not fun, but it's necessary. And our bank partner would not allow us to issue the new pricing and plans, which I'm going to talk about here in a second, until those regulations were met. And I'm excited to say that our team has completed our portion of that. And yes, it took about 90 days, which has been a heavy lift, but it's again been something that's really, really valuable. And I announced that in the cubicle about 30 days that we were 60 days behind. Now we're about 90 days behind, and that's frustrating. But I'm again excited that we've accomplished that, and we're moving forward and actually having some great progress. It very well could be. I'm hoping that December 1, that the new budget screen will be out and live. Okay, so that is an estimated date. And then shortly thereafter, we'll release the remote check deposit, which I know a lot of you are super, super excited about. And then we'll immediately go into auto funding, and I'll get into what that means in just a second, then the setup wizard. And we've also moved the Plaid integration up as a result of feedback from you all. Okay, so and then we'll go into widget and split transactions. And we're waiting for some additional agreements with our bank to be able to do the high yield savings. It's something that I really, really, really want, but requires it's not within our control. But there's also great headway coming there too, and in the coming months, we'll have some exciting announcements. Okay, so back in June, we announced new plans and pricing. We were planning to go live July 1st, and then the end of June, these new bank requirements were placed upon us, and that's what's bogged us down. But so we are close to releasing this. I still don't have a specific date, but we are very, very close. The testing has been done with everything that has changed, and so we're about ready to go live. So the new plans and pricing for all those who are already a member, a user as of July 1, will immediately, as soon as this is approved, we're going to roll into this, okay? Basic accounts are going to stay basic. We're going to hold that, and we'll announce when those will roll to the light and to premium. But for now, they're going to stay basic. But all new users that are free will go onto our light, and you can see that they will get our proactive spending methodology. They'll have access to the budgeting screen that I'm going to show you, and actually all of the benefits of Qube Money, but they'll be limited to 3 cubes. They can actually buy an additional cube, and it's $1 per cube per month above 3. And then it will be just a virtual card because Apple Pay and Samsung, Google Pay has become so prevalent. And so anyways, if they want a physical card, that will be a purchase of $7 for the card, okay, which is our cost. And then we have the premium, which is going to be $9 a month if you pay for it annually, or in other words, $108 paid yearly, or $12 per month if paid monthly. And you'll get proactive spending. You'll get the monthly budgeting reports, unlimited cubes, physical debit cards. If you're in a joint situation, that will be for both of you. Subscription controls. You'll keep the ATM fee, the up to $10 ATM fee reimbursement. And then again, joint accounts and partner notifications. And then our family will move to, if you pay for it annually, it's $180, which amounts to $15 per month, but it's paid annually, or $19 per month. And that will give you everything that I just listed with premium, so you'll have a joint account for the primary account holders, and then up to 5 teen, kid, and adult cards that are sub accounts, or are authorized users on the account. So that means that all of those people will also get a physical card, and this will give the parent view into their children, what's going on with their children, and those that are authorized users on the account. So that each one of those people have their own account and their own card, but the primary account holder has a visibility. Okay, so that's what will roll in as soon as this is approved. And again, I feel like this is going to be very, very soon. Okay, so now let's go into the budgeting screen. And today, what I want to cover with us is really Qube Money's simple methodology. And my hope and goal today is that when we're done, you're going to have a clear path for those that haven't adopted Qube Money, a clear path to the adoption that you want. Because some people just use Qube Money for their discretionary spending. Actually, some people just use Qube Money for their bills because they really like the subscription controls and the visibility that it creates with their bill payments, the control. And then others fully adopt. Okay, and so I'm going to kind of guide us through Qube's simple methodology to make this possible, and actually how the budget screen is even going to make this easier. Okay, so our methodology is really simple. It is simply set up your cubes or create your cubes, then add income, and with the auto funding, that income will automatically fund your cubes based on your plan. And then it's just to balance your budget to make sure that there's enough money to cover what you're doing in Qube, okay? Because the auto funding, the deposits need to equal whatever you're auto funding. And so you balance that, and then it's simply just spending from that plan. And so it's real. You're spending with real money. And we believe that this actually really simplifies budgeting. And anyone who has fully adopted Qube understands that. There's no more worried about how much is here and how much is there, and trying to chase points and making sure you're not paying interest. It's just one simple system that houses everything, that takes away all of the rat race and gives confidence and control and peace with money. And it really is that amazing. I went from, and I've talked to multiple people, even friends recently that aren't using Qube. They're like using YNAB specifically, and they're like, I asked, how much time a week do you spend like categorizing transactions? And they said, about an hour to an hour and a half. And these are like big time budgeters. And my wife and I, that's exactly where we were at. And today we spend 5 to 10 minutes a month, like worrying or fussing about money, because it all just happens because Qube, it simplifies everything. We don't have multiple credit cards and money coming from all these different places and trying to aggregate everything and then make sure what we're spending reconciles with our budget, because it's all one and together. And it's so simple. In fact, for me, like the $50 worth of credit card points that I used to earn wasn't worth the 4 to 5 hours a month. It just wasn't. I mean, I make way more than that on an hourly basis with work. So anyways, that's the simple method. So really, when you're coming to Qube, this process is going to help people easily set up their cubes, create their cubes, add income, and automate that. Make sure that on a monthly basis, you'll notice that each month is separate, that your budget is balanced, and so that auto funding just happens. And you'll notice here, it shows your total income, and then it shows the total amount you have budgeted in Qube. Okay, now actually how much your auto funding is what that's actually going to say. So you'll know that, yes, I have enough money in Qube to do the auto fund so that my plan works. And if it doesn't, then this will be red. The $2,375 will be red, negative, and you'll be prompted to add more money so that your plan works. Because remember, set up your cubes, add your income sufficient to fund that plan, and then make sure that it's balanced, and then you just follow it. And you can automate that so it repeats month after month, and actually you're going to be able to set it up so it's weekly, monthly, and actually even daily if you want. So you can set your budget periods as we move into the final iterations of this budget screen. So I am super excited about that. Now, I am going to stop and just share with you kind of what this is going to feel like. And sorry, I have my income over here, and then I have the budget or my spending categories over here, or my budget categories. Okay, so you'll notice that one view, if I view by type, this is by bill type, I have my bills. okay, right here. And then I have my spending, and then I have my goals. And by default, we are going to fund 10% of your income into long-term savings and charity. Now, you can easily change this, but we are going to promote that to give 10% and save 10% and then be a good steward of the rest of the 80% is a very healthy way to live with money. And again, you can change that, but that's how it's going to happen default wise. And then you're going to be able to turn on or off the auto allocation. And you notice that in this scenario, I have mortgage turned off, I have my utilities turned off, and then everything else I have turned on that I want to manage that with Qube. But if you are new to budgeting, new to Qube, or even if you're just new to Qube, you may be only interested in saying, all I want to put in Qube are my spending categories. And then there is a scenario that applies to many people that are coming to Qube where they have been using a credit card, so they're spending next month's income on a credit card, and then they get paid with their paycheck, and they pay off their credit card, and then they're using a credit card to then spend for the next month. This is very common, and they're in this cyclical, just enough money to get by. So consequently, because Qube money is based on real cash, you have to get into a cash position to use our methodology. And to be frank, that's purposeful because that creates financial health. So consequently, if you're in that situation, what I would recommend and what we would recommend is for you to only take one or two of your spending categories to start out with. It might be just fuel and fun, or it might be groceries and fun. But those categories that you want to get the most control with, and just put the cash for those two and start spending those with real cash using the methodology of create your cubes, add your income, and then balance that to make sure you have it and then spend from it, right? So anyways, then what you'll find is you'll have more intentionality. This will help you spend more wisely in those areas, and you'll have more liquidity the next month. So then you can add another cube and then another cube. And that will be a domino effect. And so that you'll get a month ahead, and you'll feel tons of peace and control and confidence at that point. Okay. So that's how you adopt Qube money on a gradual basis. Okay. Now back to this. So what we have here is this number right here in green is simply the amount that you have in your budget that you've budgeted. I guess your total income minus the amount you have budgeted. That's why it's $5. Okay. But all the money that you're going to need in Qube for this scenario is actually the $3,025, because that is the amount of money that you are utilizing Qube to manage. And so that will be really clear on the budget screen when you're creating that. So this will allow you to create your full budget in Qube, manage your full budget in Qube, but only utilize Qube for the things that you have cash for or the things that you want to use Qube to spend for, which personally I'm really excited about. Okay. And will give people a better perspective. And so simply, like, the cool thing about this is if your income drops by 500, and so you only have 2,000 and 2,000, now you have $4,500 to allocate, and your budget is now $795 over. So you can come in here, and actually this takes me to my next screen, okay? And you'll also have a tab where you can do it by type, which is by Qube type, bills, spend, goals, or by priority. And our three priorities are absolute, needs, and wants, okay? And we say the absolutes because for financial health, it's absolutely essential that you save for long term. And we believe that karma, you're going to get ahead if you give. And it helps you gain, like, be a master of money. And one thing I will say is when we talk about saving, long-term savings, there's a priority of that. The first way you will want to save is to create a $1,500 to $2,500 emergency fund, depending on what you feel comfortable with. But the first thing is get the emergency fund in place so that you can deal with unexpected expenses as you start your budgeting path. The second is to pay off debt. So once you have that $1,500 to $2,500 emergency fund created, now you're going to take that $550 and you're going to start snowballing that towards paying off your debt, because there's no reason to be saving for retirement and be spending 25, 26% on credit card debt. That just does not make sense. And as interest rates have gone up, so have student loans, mortgages, car loans, all those things. So the next portion of long-term savings is to actually eliminate debt. And then once the debt is eliminated, you have your emergency fund, you've eliminated debt. Now we go to retirement savings and a long-term strategy to prepare for the future. Okay, so that is our philosophy. And then you have your needs, and then you have your wants. So if your income went down to $4,000, well, $4,500 because of an additional auto deposit, you're $895 over. So this actually, notice that this jumped down. That's why that should be a formula equals this times point. There we go. So $795. So we can go in and say, okay, what can I do without to make sure that I'm still I'm not spending more than I'm making? And this really creates a great visual say, okay, here's my wants. So I'm going to cut Netflix out. You know what? My garden's important to me, but I'm going to cut money out of that. We're going to put off home projects, and I'm going to cut down Christmas a little bit. I'm going to cut down my vacation budget and just do maybe at-home vacations, right? We're not going to be able to do any gifts. And so anyways, you'll just be able to go down and cut out those things that you need to. And obviously we need to do $400 more, but it creates this clear, I'm balancing my budget to make sure that my income is matching my expenses, and that I can still manage the money that I'm utilizing from like the auto funding within Qube that I'm using Qube to manage. This is how much is needed in cloud the first of the month. It's right there. And right now I know that my budget is still $405 over. My expenses are too high, so I need to figure out how to cut those down, right? And I can look at this and do what I need to do to make sure my budget is balanced. So anyways, our methodology is you need the cash before you spend it. And so that auto funding creates this. Create your cubes, add your income, balance your budget, and then you can have confidence when you spend. Okay? So that is how the new budgeting screen is going to work, and it's going to be really simple. And notice we also have sweep in here in addition to auto funding, so you will be able to sweep money. If there's money left over at the end of the month on groceries, you can sweep it to cloud or wherever you want. Same thing with like cars and vacation. Fuel, you could sweep it to vacation. So it allows you to really have one more element of getting your money to do what you want it to do for you. So that is really what I wanted to share today. And I love the simple methodology of what we're talking about is spend money, real money. And so this simple process of create your cubes, add your income, and balance your budget on a monthly basis or a weekly basis creates a lot of simplicity and a lot of confidence and control. You'll know you're never spending over, right? So anyways, and the last thing I want to just plug is the swag store. You all, like, here's a shirt, actually one of my favorite shirts. It's really soft and nice, If you go to QubeMoney.com, and you can see right here swag, there's some really nice things for purchase. I love this Money Nerd, Future Money Nerd. But anyways, I should have wore this sweatshirt. I've got that sweatshirt as well. But some really nice stuff that you can start to sponsor Qube Money now. But you can wear the swag. All right, with that, I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm going to open this up for any questions. And before I do, I know there's always a lot of questions about like roadmap, and again, so the plan is that the new budgeting screen, and again, that's going to be a web version, which is really nice because our account creation is all web-based. You get approved for an account, and then it'll go immediately into the budget screen. It will be mobile friendly, as obviously as well as desktop friendly, and you'll be able to create your plan, and it will guide you through that really simply to create your cubes, add the income that you want Qube Money to manage, balance that to make sure the auto funding is set, and then it'll all just happen, and you'll simply just look before you spend. And so that's how this will work. Okay, Penny Kid, is this spreadsheet a part of the Qube budget, or we just see all this in the Qube app website? Okay, so this will be in the Qube app website, Penny. So like literally, so when you log in to access Qube, let me show you that again. Okay, notice. Here, let me make a little bit. Yeah, here's the overview, planning cubes, activity, and Qube Masters. That's identical to when you log in. So this will be after login, and it will be underneath the planning part of the app. And if you're utilizing your phone, you're going to log in through the web, and you're going to have access that, and it's just going to stack income, then spending, bills, goals, things like that. I hope that answered your question, Penny. I'd be happy to answer any more on that. And I just realized I wasn't sharing my screen, so you guys couldn't see that. Do you have a rough expectation for release date of the budget screen? Yeah, so Mark, we're looking at December 1. And like, I don't know if you were here for the first part of this, but we had the bank industry changed some regulations that were pushed down to us, and we had to divert our attention away from this. We plan to release this September 1, but because of that, so I guess we're really close to only 60 days behind, although it's thrown us off about 90 days. So, good question, Mark. Any other questions? Okay, so I just talked about when the rollout is. So on interest for savings, Ryan, that is a negotiation that's happening with our bank partner, and that's not going to happen. We're actually really working on this right now. This is a big initiative for me and our executive team right now, and I know that it's not going to roll out before the end of January. So anyways, and we don't have final agreements in place, so I can't even say that, right? But it's not going to be before the end of January, because that's what's going to make that available for the high yield savings. But it's something we're really super excited about. Sindel, can't we get access to this as a template? So we can't. And the reason why we're not, I guess if you go into Qube Master, so if you log in, Sindel, I hope I'm saying your name right, and go to Qube Masters, there's a budget planner on there, and it's not as smooth as what I've shown, but it actually is very good. So if you go to Qube Masters, on your dashboard, Qube Masters dashboard, there is a budget planner that does a really good job and allows you to create cubes and so forth. So. Any more questions? Okay. How can we see the new subscription fees? So we are not, I mean, we've publicized those through email, through a little bit of May and all of June and the first part of July, thinking we were going to release that. Like I kind of talked about earlier, I know you said you joined late, but what happened there is there were some new regulations that came down that our bank enforced on us, rightfully so, should have been, that has taken our dev team away to focus on that and getting those things done properly. So we're following protocol, following the regulations, and that's pushed back the budget planner. But that they've also said that they will not allow us to release the new plans and pricing until that is done. And so we have done all the dev. I'm in testing phase right now, the final stages of testing phase. And so we see us rolling out the new plans and pricing within the next few weeks, couple weeks. I hope the end of first of next week. And for those people who had accounts prior to July 1, they'll just automatically roll into the new plans. Those people who have joined since then, we have not informed you that the new plans and pricing were coming. So we're going to make some offers to that group, and then it'll roll out 30 days after we roll that out with everyone else. So I hope that answers your question about the new plans and pricing. Any plans for widgets? Okay, so that is the 7th priority based on feedback from you all. So before that, if we come back to the priorities here, the first thing is the budget screen, which the plan is to release that by December 1. And shortly thereafter, we're actually already in the process of, we've got the approval for remote check deposit and so forth. So we're moving forward on that while we're doing the budget screens, and it'll be released shortly thereafter. And then to finish off the budget screens, auto funding is really important in the setup wizard, which will help people really on board well. Then we'll go into the Plaid integration, and then it will be widgets. Okay, and I hope that in this time, so widgets aren't going to be till next year. I mean, that's just all there is to it. I hope that high yield savings and bill pay come before that. I think that the bank features are more important than that. And I wasn't sharing my screen again. Here, I'm going to share my screen so you guys can see what I just said. Sorry, I keep on forgetting that because I was looking at that. Okay, so what I was showing is this. Here's the priority. So widgets, I'm sorry, it's number 6. And yeah, so it's going to be a next year implementation, because this is going to be December, and I really hope remote check deposit will be like the middle of December. And then auto funding and setup wizard, I'm hoping we'll have that out by January, and then we'll go into the Plaid integration. And there's still some discovery that needs to take place on that, and how big of a lift that Plaid integration is going to be. And I'm hoping that high yield savings and bill pay will slide up in here as we continue the negotiation with the bank. Okay, so that's where we're at with that. All right, I'll take one more question if there is, and then I really appreciate everyone being on here with us. This has been good, and I hope that what we talked about with the methodology that we utilize to budget, it really, for me, is steps ahead of anything else that I've ever seen, because it makes it real, and simplifying the process of adoption was my goal today. And so I hope that took place in the budget screen. That is the goal of the budget screen and the auto funding and the wizard. So, okay, so Marita, the parent permissions, we actually feel like that these things that we've talked about are higher priority, and we have not scheduled that. And that's based on feedback from the community. Um, it's something I want to because I have kids with the kids cards. So, all right, you guys, thanks again for being with us. Um, we we really are on a great path as a team. Very motivated, very focused. Um, and like you all know, we're passionate about creating human wellness, setting people free. I heard a great quote like yesterday actually. Money isn't the goal, it's the tool. Freedom is the goal. And that's what Qube Money is all about, helping people create freedom with money, setting people free from the rat race. Um, and this technology truly has the power to do that if you will engage. So, and we're going to keep on making it better and better, so that we can impact people for forever. So, anyways, with that, thank you, and have a great day. Appreciate it.